Здравствуйте, привет, and hello. Welcome to another video about learning the Russian language. In the last video, we discussed a few basic Russian phrases, things that everybody should know. Hi, bye, please, thank you, that sort of thing. In this video, we're gonna discuss some simple adjectives. Прилагательные. So, let's get started. The first thing you need to know about Russian is that there are three kinds of nouns. And adjectives describe nouns, and they need to be modified depending on the noun they're describing. So in Russian, all nouns have a gender. There's the male gender, the female gender, and the neutral gender. Now this may sound a little strange to English speakers because in English only animate objects like people and animals have genders, but in Russian inanimate objects have genders too. So pencils, tables, cars, houses, all of those objects, they have a gender. And then for the purposes of understanding how to modify adjectives for nouns, there's actually a fourth category, and that's plural. So for that one, gender doesn't matter. It's just singular male, singular female, singular neutral, and plural. Okay, so now that we know the four categories of nouns, let's see how adjectives have to change depending on the noun they describe. Their endings have to change. So, for a male noun, the adjective is going to have one of three possible endings: y, and oy. The first two are more common, so make sure you remember those. Although the last one does appear too, and we're going to see an example of that soon. For female, it's a lot easier. If the adjective describes a female noun, the ending is almost always going to be aya. Aya. Very easy to remember. For neutral, it's going to be oya or eya. And then for plural, it'll be iya or iya. So when I introduce an adjective, you should really only memorize the male form, and then it'll be pretty clear how to change it into female, neutral, or plural. So let's actually take a look and see an example of this, because that'll help make things clear. We've got two adjectives here, good and bad. We've already seen examples of these as nouns in the last video. Remember when we learned how to ask как дела or how are you? There were two possible answers, хорошо and плохо. But those were nouns. So now we're going to look at the same words, but with adjective endings. So, good as an adjective is хороший. Repeat after me. Хороший. 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 And then from here, it's going to be really clear what we need to do to change this. Хороший is for a male noun. What is it going to be for a female noun? Can you guess? If you said хорошая, you were right. Remember, adjectives that describe female nouns are going to have the aya ending. So we've got хороший, хорошая, and then for neutral, хорошее, And finally, plural, хорошие. Хорошие. So make sure you can hear that subtle difference between neutral and plural. Хорошие and хорошие. Okay. The exact same thing we're going to now do with the adjective for bad. So again, just memorize the male form, and then it should be relatively easy to change it to a different gender afterwards. So the male form of bad is плохой. Плохой. Repeat after me. Плохой. So can you guess what the female form is? That's right, it's плохая. Плохая. The neutral? Плохое. And then plural? Плохие. Okay, now you know how to describe something as good or bad. So let's see a few examples. Я хорошая мама. I'm a good mom. Since mom is a female object, you use хорошая, the а-я ending. Я хорошая мама. Now for a male, ты хороший папа. You're a good dad. It's male, so we have хороший. Ты хороший папа. Okay, now let's look at bad. Он плохой врач. He's a bad doctor. Он плохой врач. So it has the male form of плохой. Now let's see the plural form. Они плохие врачи. They are bad doctors. Они плохие врачи. So you should get an idea from these examples how adjectives have to change depending on the object they describe. You should practice with this. Make sure you commit these two adjectives to memory. Make some practice sentences. You can actually say quite a lot of things with the vocabulary you already have, just based on all the different example nouns you've seen in the previous videos. But in the meantime, we're going to move on to another pair of adjectives, and that is big and small. As always, let's look at the male form first, and then you'll be able to guess all the other forms. So for big, большой. Большой. That's for a male object, so you could say он большой. He's big. So you should be able to guess what it is for female. Большая. For neutral, большое. And for plural, большие. So make sure you have the pronunciation. Repeat after me. Большой, большая, большое, большие. And now for small. So again, the male form, маленький. 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 Он маленький. He's small. And the others, маленькая. Она маленькая. She's small. Маленькое. Оно маленькое. It's small. And они маленькие. They're small. Маленький. Маленькая. Маленькое. Маленькие. Okay, let's look at some examples. Они не очень большие. Очень means very. So, они не очень большие. They are not very big. And большие is in the plural form because it's describing they, which is plural. Он большой, а она маленькая. He's big and she is small. Он большой, а она маленькая. Okay, so time for the last pair of adjectives we're going to learn, and that's going to be beautiful and ugly. So, beautiful, ugly. We'll start with beautiful first. Beautiful in Russian is красивый. 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 And as usual, that's the male form. So you can say он красивый. He's beautiful. For female, красивая. Neutral, красивые. And plural, красивые. Repeat after me. Красивый. Красивая. Красивые. Красивые. Very good. Now we're going to learn ugly, and it's actually very easy. Exact same words. We're just going to put a не in front of each one because it literally will mean not beautiful. Now, this is the word that's used in Russian to mean ugly, but there are other words that are different that don't just mean not beautiful, but they are stronger. They mean more like hideous or horrible. So we're just going to keep it simple and just learn ugly or not beautiful right now. So the male form, некрасивый, female, некрасивая, neutral, некрасивые, and plural, некрасивые. As I said, same as beautiful, just has a не in front of it. So as always, we're going to look at some examples. This is a dialogue between a couple. Ты красивая. You are beautiful. We can tell from this sentence that the person is talking to a female. Ты красивая. Спасибо. И ты красивый. Thank you, and you're beautiful. Now, it's clear that this speaker is talking to a male because of the word красивый. It's in the male form. Мы оба красивые. We're both beautiful. So now it's plural. Красивые. So the conversation is ты красивая. Спасибо. И ты красивый. Мы оба красивые. Okay, let's look at some more examples. We're going to practice with the word кот, which means cat. Now that word is male and singular. So let's look at the top left corner. We've got a picture of an angelic cat. This is a good cat. So what would we say to describe this? Это хороший кот. This is a good cat. To the right, we've got an evil demonic one. So what would we say? Это плохой кот. This is a bad cat. Okay, now back to the left in the blue. We've got a beautiful cat. Это красивый кот. This is a beautiful cat. Notice All of these adjectives are in the male singular form because kот is male. So now the next picture is an ugly cat. Это некрасивый кот. Okay, and then bottom left, we've got a big one. Это большой кот. This is a big cat. And then finally, это маленький кот. This is a small cat. So you can make an exercise just like this to practice for yourself. Just pick a noun, any noun, as long as you know what its gender is, you can practice with all the different adjectives you learned today. So we're going to do one more practice exercise before we're done. Okay, now we've got a variety of objects and different genders, and some of them are plural. So let's look at the top left. We've got a angelic mom, so a good mom. How would we say this? Это хорошая мама. If you guessed it, give yourself a pat on the back. Это хорошая мама. Okay, next we've got two evil doctors. How would you say this? Remember, it's plural now, so you need to use the plural form of bad. If you guessed это плохие врачи, you were right. Это плохие врачи. Okay, now let's look at the blue on the left. We've got a beautiful stained glass window. So you're going to say, this is a beautiful window. Window in Russian, if you remember from previous videos, окно is neutral. It is a neutral object. So, это красивое окно. This is a beautiful window. And when I say if you remember from past videos, I mean, I think it was in the, in one of the previous windows, or videos, we used window as an example. I could be wrong though. It could be completely new to you. But now you know. Window is a neutral object. Это красивое окно. Okay. Next, we've got an ugly duck. This I remember for sure. We had this as an example in the alphabet video. Утка is female. So, this is an ugly duck. How will we say it? Это некрасивая утка. Это некрасивая утка. Okay. Bottom left, you've got eyes, that's plural, глаза, and they are big. So how would you say, these are big eyes? Это большие глаза. These are big eyes. Это большие глаза. And then finally, we've got a small ear. Ear is ухо, and it is neutral. So, это маленькое ухо. This is a small ear. Notice how we use маленькое in the neutral form. Okay, that's it for adjectives. You learned 6 new adjectives in this video. If you made it all the way to the end, give yourselves a huge pat on the back. Well done, and I will see you next time when you are ready to learn the next topic. Have a wonderful day. Bye.